Hey everybody, welcome to Strength Coach TV. I'm Anthony Rana. This is the show where we take you inside some of the country's best gyms, give you a tour, then we sit down with the owners and we talk a little bit of shop. Special thanks to Marigold Foods, marigoldbars.com. They are sponsoring the show now for a while. They're allowing me to do this more and more, to be more consistent, to bring more gyms to you guys so we can all learn. Plus, I eat the bars every single day, at least one. Non-GMO, no soy, gluten-free, no preservatives, low sugar, and they taste great. marigoldbars.com. All right, today we're heading up to Worcester, Massachusetts to Elevate Strength and Performance and Evan Marcantonio. This is an interesting episode because there's two things happening here. It's a recent move right in this kind of in the same building in downtown Worcester, which is another interesting part of the show, kind of right in downtown, limited parking, so we're going to talk to him about that. But also he changed the name. He was the Worcester Kettlebell Club, and now he's Elevate Strength and Performance. So we're going to talk to him about that stuff, about how the move was. There's always these considerations with equipment, and he had to build a med ball wall as well, which is always a big question for a lot of gyms because you're not allowed a lot of times to throw the balls against the walls in a lot of gyms. So let's head up to Worcester, Massachusetts to Elevate Strength and Performance and Evan Marcantonio. Hey guys, welcome to Worcester, Massachusetts. I am here at Elevate Strength and Performance with Evan Marcantonio. Evan, thanks for doing this.
Anthony, thank you so much.
All right. So let's go over, we're right in downtown Worcester, very cool. We'll talk about parking later.
Yep.
I got a spot on the street pretty easily, but I know during the busy times it's going to be an issue.
Yep.
How many square feet is this space?
According to the landlord, this is 1,940 square feet.
Okay.
Coming from the space we were in before, that was 900 square feet, this feels like 3,000 to us.
Okay.
So, we're using all 2,000 square feet of it.
Which, by the way, is in the same building. The old space, we're going to see that in a minute, really just going to peek in when we get our entrance, when we come in the entrance. So, and how long have you been in this physical space?
We moved in here the end of March, so I think this is our 6th week in this actual facility here.
Wow, okay.
So we just relocated.
Cool, and you were not called Elevate, you were called?
Worcester Kettlebell Club.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that when we sit down as well, that rebranding and how what the challenges were for that as well. The move wasn't so bad, it was probably just the rebranding maybe a little bit. I want to know what you had to deal with in that, because I know a lot of people are out there thinking, sometimes we start out with a name and we worry about, is it the right name, or people use their own name and they worry. So I want to talk to you about that process. Cool. So who's the member here? Who's coming here?
So our membership demographic, about over 50% of it's from the age of 28 to 44.
Okay.
We have some people below 28, and we have a few members that go from, the 50 to 65 age bracket. But overall, the majority of our members are between 28 and 44, and we're 75% women, 25% men.
Wow. Now, do you think that's a product of being the Kettlebell Club originally and kind of maybe scared off some people, some older people? I don't know. And is that going to change over time with the new space?
The intention of making the name change, for sure, was because of that intimidation factor that might have come from being the Kettlebell Club. But, I wonder how much of it is, I'm 43, am I attracting people to the gym that are my age? And the people that we have here, it's interesting. Our members, when we polled them and asked what they were looking for, the younger group, those 28-year-olds, they said, we want to do cool stuff, but they wanted community. Our older members didn't want to be hurt anymore, but they wanted community. So we've kind of been able to attract both of them in that larger demographic age bracket, and it's worked out really well for us.
Love it. All right. What about staff? How many staff you got?
So we have 3 people other than myself. So I have 2 part-time coaches that help out. They were both members at first and then transitioned in.
Very cool. Great way to get it.
It's great. And then Jackie has also been a member for a long period of time, who you just met. And she does we call her the wizard, because she's kind of like behind the scenes doing everything. But she is more of like a general manager, admin role, and is doing a lot of the soft contact work with our members. A lot of stuff.
Excellent.
It turned into a lot of stuff.
Excellent. What about membership types? Is this just group training? What do you got going on here?
So we offer two main programs. One's team training. That's our small group, I guess we would call it. It's been 8 people maximum, but now we're going to change that to 12 because we have the room to support 12 people.
Yeah, excellent.
For us, the wait list has been an issue. People that haven't been able to make it into classes.
Oh, yeah.
And we have semi-private. And semi-private's 1 to 3 people training on an individualized program like most of the other gyms that you've interviewed have implemented in their space too.
So they're going to have 2 options to go to. Okay, cool. Do they ever mix? Do the semi-private, can they come into the...
Yep, so the semi-private have full access to everything that the gym offers. So they can come into any team training program. Most of our semi-private programs go for 2 days a week. And then they can come in and jump into any of, whether it's a kettlebell specific class or they can come in and participate in the regular team training. They like that as that supplemental training day. So if there's something that was repeated in their program, we can easily make a regression or a lateral change to their program to make sure that they're accommodated.
Very cool. All right. We're going to get a tour. I want to find out more about this guy right here, the very famous, everybody always wants to have a med ball wall, and so we'll talk about that.
Sure.
Because it's not just as easy as getting some cinder block and putting it up.
No, it's not.
Let's go for a tour.
Awesome. Thank you, Anthony. Hey guys, this is Evan from Elevate Strength and Performance in Worcester. So when we started out, we spent 3 years in this space here, which is right on the corner of the building. It was great because it was... That's one thing we don't have to deal with anymore, but that was our 900 square foot space to start. But we're right in a hot spot in Worcester, which is Shrewsbury Street. There's a lot of restaurants, a lot of places to go and see right here in the city. So when we decided to relocate, one thing was, even though parking is a challenge, which I know we'll talk about more, we wanted to have an opportunity to keep our members in the same area because they were used to coming here, and I have a great relationship with the landlord. So in keeping that, he told us that this one space in here opened up and we jumped on it.
Yeah, having a good landlord is super important.
Yeah, we have a great relationship, and he's very appreciative of how clean we've kept our space, and it's just been really easy to work with and communicate with.
Yeah. Awesome.
So this is it. Walk in that door. We have 2 bathrooms here that we share with another business, but it's nice to have those outside of the gym, especially when you have a really small gym space.
Yeah, no, you don't have to clean those, right?
We don't, but if it ever gets out of control where it's too much volume, I go in there and clean them at the end of the night if I have to, but he does have a cleaning company that comes in and takes care of that for us.
So no showers, right?
No showers. However, we did learn that all the plumbing sits right behind this wall. So if we ever decided that this is our kind of like forever home for the gym, there might be an opportunity to build something like that here, but
cool.
We're not sure it's necessary yet.
Yeah.
So when you walk in, this is the gym.
Cool.
So the first thing,
where are they going to go first?
So first thing, people usually take their shoes off there when they come in, and then from here, they can put any of their stuff in the cubbies. They'll grab their foam roller and pick any spot either right around here or around the turf and go into their soft tissue work and whatever kind of corrective strategy we may have given them specifically when they first come into the gym.
Very cool. Very cool. So now they're not checking in with anything, like obviously you don't have a front desk, so they're not going to have to check in with anything.
Yeah, we start our classes sharp. So if someone comes in for our noon training session, it starts at noon. So after the class leaves, we work with Zen Planner. I know a lot of places use MindBody. I go in and check everyone in at that point in time. But as we grow, because we're a younger gym, as we grow, we may have a kiosk up in the front right here that we could use that people can check themselves in as they do come in. But because we're a smaller gym, having 8 people come in, we have a wait list after 8. So it's been easier to manage by me doing it versus people just coming in at any number of times, because at a certain point, we don't have enough equipment to accommodate more members.
Yes.
So we do have enough now that we moved in here to accommodate 12.
Yeah.
And that's the next step next month.
Very cool. So yeah, obviously when you're having a class, somebody else isn't doing semi-private.
Correct. Yep, right now. Now down the road, we think that is an option, that we might be able to have times overlap. So if we do have 2 coaches working at once, we would be able to offer the team group training and have semi-private going at the same time.
Cool. All right. And what's, so yeah, they're going to come in here. Oh, you know what? Let's start out with so a new client, and they're going to grab their folders.
So yeah, all of our members that come in have folders for the team training program. That's our small group training. They come in and grab their folders, and every 4 to 5 weeks our program changes so they can track their progress going through there. So we have workout cards that all the members can grab. If they're someone who's new and they just come into the gym for the first time, obviously we greet them because we can hear the door right from the office. But then we'll bring them in here. This is our new consultation room. So if you want to take a peek in there, that's new for us, which is great to have a private space. In the other space, I was literally in a closet that we turned into an office. So you were almost too close to someone. It was a little awkward. So we had to schedule all our meetings or new consultations either after hours or off-peak hours. So now that we can have someone here, one of our other coaches can coach a class and I can be in here meeting with someone and run them through the functional movement screen or whatever it is. This has been a huge addition for us.
We were both at Vince Gabriel's talk in Providence, and he was talking about having a round table. So
the round table makes it more comfortable for both the person that's coming in here for the first time and a little bit more intimate.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you something. That's your office right there. Did you put the window in, or?
We did. We had an option of, did we want to put a window in here or do we want to have a glass door there? And I kind of wanted more of a wow element by leaving that door all wood. And then if I'm in here working, I can at least take a peek out and see what's going on the floor. If I see something, I can go out and assist another coach. And they can come in and see me and make faces while they're training and tell me if they don't like their split squats or not.
There you go. Nice, nice. Obviously, I always say, like, you could tell how important trainers think of certain equipment, right?
Yep.
We got a bunch of the ultimate sandbags and a bunch of kettlebells going on. And this was the Worcester Kettlebell Club. So that makes sense.
So we've gotten all of our equipment from either Dragon Doors, where all the kettlebells came from. That's our favorite manufacturer. We feel that they're just the best of the best. Perform Better has been an amazing company to work with. I would say over 50% of the stuff in here is from Perform Better. The things we didn't get from them were the rigs and some of the stuff that go along with the rigs, just as a price point. You're small gym, you're looking to save money where you can, and for us that was the smart rig choice for us. But yeah, we've got all the stuff. And we realized that we were more than just a kettlebell gym. We were helping people move well, get stronger, and that was part of our reason for the name change. So, we do work with the bags. We have people progress from kettlebells to barbells. And it's just the tool, and we didn't want to be known just for the tool. We wanted to be known for the results.
Absolutely. Let's go over by I want to go over by the cinder block wall here. This is like a beautiful building. We can see that kind of the bricks up in here, right? And your landlord, you said, just didn't want you throwing medicine balls up in there.
So I asked him first if we could use the wall to throw med balls against, and he was not for it. So we discussed about having a wall made, and he said, hey, I'll put up the cost of the wall. You can just pay me back when you're ready. That's the kind of good relationship we have, which is why we wanted to stay in this building.
Beautiful.
So yeah, a cinder block wall, who knows, a wall that is 7 feet high by 10 feet long would cost almost $3,000. I watched the building process, and I guess I understand now why, but that was a big expense moving for us. But it's great. Now we're able to do more med ball work than we were before.
Any issues with the neighbors or?
So the people who own the business in front of us, their office is right there, and we have these nice new Sonos speakers because we want people to have fun and listen to good music when they train. And because that's facing his wall, he lets us know that around lunchtime, his walls shake a little bit, but we let them know, like, if it's ever an issue, let us know, and he said he would. And again, we're really fortunate to have a good relationship with all of our neighbors, so it's good.
And again, I like that, you got to find space, you got to utilize space where you can, right?
Yeah, we joke the gym's almost like a transformer. Whenever you can find wall space, utilize it. And then, it's like it shifts shapes for every time we go into a different training session.
And you obviously chose this kind of rack system again because there is this element of we can do a lot in a small amount of space, right?
Yeah, so we have the Perform Better pull-up station. I think it's 8 feet long that you can use, and we use that for our jungle gym suspension trainers before, and in these walls there was no space to install that, and all the walling here is all that metal thin stud, and we couldn't attach anything to that. So because of that, we had to opt for a different kind of rig system and, like you said, utilize space. So we have our jungle gyms hanging off of here, and for the amount of people that we have in our classes and limiting our classes, that's going to be 12, this was the best option for us. So if people are doing things like pull-ups, we have the pull-up stations that are almost always on this side. We have different options for pull-ups or chin-ups on the middle of the rig, and then all of our inverted row work is done on the outside of the rig.
Yeah.
Where it's not going to interfere with what other people are doing.
Very cool that you got the beam for the, that's another plus. Like you said, you're not going to be able to have something like that with the way the walls are structured if you don't have that.
Correct.
I want to talk about this. This is something, tell us the story behind this, because this is not something that you put in. This was already here.
Yeah, this was here, and this was a big selling feature for us wanting to take this space. The business that was here before us kind of had a Google vibe to them, and they installed a kitchenette. And this was more of like, this part right here was all their open space. When we saw this, we saw an opportunity to do more nutrition work down the road, potentially have a juice bar, smoothie bar. So we decided to leave it. And all the plumbing is here in place. All we have to do is build up our membership a little bit more, and then we're going to turn this into a pre-post workout nutrition area. We also do nutrition workshops. So if we can have people do demos here, we have some good relationships with some other people that do nutrition blogs, and when we had our grand opening, they did some smoothies for everyone to enjoy as well. So it's just an opportunity. If we're doing training and we're helping people with their nutrition and we offer that as a service among our group training and our semi-private training, why not have a kitchenette and incorporate that into the whole gym?
Yeah, it's so huge too, because like a lot of times just getting the permits, first of all, the build out is a problem, and then there's obviously the plumbing. Where is the plumbing? Right? That's always a problem. So already having in here, that's insane.
Yeah.
I do want to, this is always kind of this is so awesome that you have this, you had a friend make that for you?
Yeah, so a friend of mine has a metal fabrication shop. He does motorcycle work, and I had an idea when we were in that smaller space, how can we do band work? Because we only had a small piece of rigging. We actually had one station. Okay. So that was kind of like a bottleneck for us, and we couldn't attach bands and have people doing work in the rig and off of the rig. It would look chaotic. So he made this for me, and we've been using it ever since. And whenever we need something, I have 2 people now that we know that can do metal fabrication work for us if we ever need something on a pinch. So it's come in helpful.
All right. Well, let's go sit down and we'll talk some business.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
All right, Evan, thank you for the tour. Loving what you've done here, especially the transformation. This is great. First, I want to give you the little gift pack from Marigold Bars. Marigold Foods has been sponsoring us and giving me an opportunity to come and visit more people like you to kind of show everybody what's happening out there with gyms and help people with their gyms. So these things are great, non-GMO. No soy, no gluten, I mean, low sugar, they taste great. So you got a dark and salty in there. That's like pretty much my favorite. So
awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So let's start out with the rebranding. Sure. I know a lot of people out there have this, you know, they start out with this one name and then they're like, wait a minute, I don't know if I want to do that. You were Worcester Kettlebell Club. You changed to Elevate Strength and Performance. What went into that? What were some of the challenges of that?
So when we started off, I mean, the Worcester Kettlebell Club was honestly birthed from Dan John's Coyote Point Kettlebell Club, being a fan of his and thinking like, well, if we wanted to be the best kettlebell gym, which was kind of short-sighted in the beginning, that we wanted to have that in our name. And the best part of that is that we actually branched out and reached out to one of the vocational schools, and their students did the logo for us.
Oh, cool.
So it was kind of like a neat kind of community relationship that we built there. But as we found out, we got to know our members a little bit more, and people started coming in. They were like, it took me 2 years to come into your gym because I hate kettlebells, or I had a bad experience with kettlebells. And we realized that we were probably blocking more people unintentionally from wanting to even enter our gym and reach out.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so at that point we realized like there's got to be an opportunity to rebrand to something. And actually I'm part of Results Fitness University. Okay. And my last mastermind event, I went out there and we talk about all the success we've had in our business and all the challenges, and that was my big challenge. And Jason Pack turned to me, he said, did anyone video that? Because what you just said is exactly what you need to share with your members. And he goes, I think you have nothing to lose. Will any of your members quit if you change the name of your gym? Yeah. And I went, you know what, no one here is going to quit. So right when I got back to my seat at that event, I started writing down notes on what's the most important part of the gym that people come for. And I started, like, all of our members hike. Like, when we interview people and we have that strategy session, there's like the outdoors aspect. They ski, they mountain bike, they do obstacle course racing.
Yeah.
All that's part of it, like on a mountain. And then I looked up the word alpine, and elevate came in, and I thought, wow, that's a pretty powerful message. So based on our membership is kind of how that led to the new rebrand. And I think people are a lot more savvy today about strength and performance versus fitness.
Sure.
So we wanted to add that to our name, and we actually have a member who is a graphic designer and does that for a career, and I would rather have him create our logo than branch out to someone else. So we had a member do the logo rebrand for us, and it came out perfect. I mean, we're really happy with it. Our members are psyched with it. We were nervous, but since we changed the name, we've actually had more leads coming through the door, and
very cool.
It's been great so far.
Awesome. What's been the challenge for you? Has parking been any kind of a challenge here? Because we saw outside, you know, it's 12 o'clock right now, so I got a spot pretty easily, but you have some restaurants here. What's the challenge with that?
Parking is a challenge. At the same time, we're in a city, and we're in probably one of the hottest streets in the city, where there's a lot of good things happening with a lot of great restaurants and places to go. You know, our members are resilient. They come in here, they want to work, so they're going to find parking. We do have an opportunity in the evening hours to use the parking lot from one of the businesses behind us. Cool. But down the road, if there's a need for additional parking, we may be able to lease from another place that's down the block. But it's been less of an issue than you would think. People are able to find space. During the school year, the 4 p.m. class is usually the toughest. Yeah. But by the evening and the early morning, everyone laughs when they come in because the street's full, but it's all full from people in the gym. Yeah. So we'll take that.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I had an issue with that in the very beginning in terms of, you know, we have free parking before 9 on the street, but then the lots are only an hour, but then we had like 3 kinds, like 1 hour, 2 hour, and 3 hours. So I had to tell everybody, like, make sure you park. But it's all about communication. I had a map on my website. I told everybody about it. I said, listen, you got to park in a 2-hour spot because you're going to be here more than an hour. I made sure I emailed everybody before their first session. So really it was like getting through that first or second session, and then it was fine. No, everybody, and like you said, you're in a city, they understand.
They understand, right? Yeah.
So, what was the challenge kind of in the move? Was there a challenge in this move?
Yeah, the biggest challenge is that my wife and I have a 3-month-old. Oh, and this move happens at week 6. Oh, so we had a baby in the beginning of April, and then all of May was setting up the move. So it was a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of work, and our members came in to help out. People like Jackie came in to help us out the whole time. We had members come in on the weekend and paint. All the painting for this whole place was done in just about 2 days, which was amazing. Wow. But there were no real hiccups. The business that was in here before, they left the place as clean as they could. The landlord came in, he did all of the work for us. So that was nothing out of pocket for us. That was part of our agreement. Yeah. So it was smoother than we expected, and it was quicker than we expected too.
Did you like come in here 1,000 times? Because I mean, we forgot to show this, but there's like a bench. Actually, one of these benches like hanging on the wall. We're using the med balls on top of this. Did you do this like 1,000,000 times in your head of like how you wanted this?
This space I was first aware that this was going to be available in September of 2016. So when I came in to look at it, thinking like, okay, this business might be out by the end of 2016, 2017, we might have an opportunity to come in here. Yeah. I started thinking, how could we set this up? One, we would tear down all the walls, leave the room for the consultation, have a bigger office. Our office is about as big as the space we were in before, total. Yeah. So, yeah, we've used space well, but
you still feel like you could have used it better? Or?
I mean, we had enough planning in place that we made it work. And actually, the member who did the logo for us, his wife does SketchUp, and we worked together, and she did the SketchUp plans. Nice. So when I sent those to Perform Better, they were like, wow, she does this just as good as we would. So we kind of had an idea, and basically it was just plug and play. Once we knew what we were going to set the space up as, the flooring was set, everything laid out perfectly. was smooth. We were ready. And I had this vision in my mind for a long time of what we could make this particular space look like.
Nice. Seems like you've had a great progression. I love that. You got the kitchen over there ready to go. We talked about that. That's going to be a huge, opportunity for you later. If you don't take it, it was a mistake, right? Obviously, because you're wasting space over there. But it's not that much space anyway. So, but that's going to be amazing to have that opportunity. And that's something to think about. That's the reason why I wanted to bring it up is when you're looking at spaces, you have to look at what can I do in the future, right? And that was one of them.
That was it. And the easiest thing for us right now is just to display, some supplements that we share with our members. You know? So, now we can sell supplements as that additional revenue source. And then can we start to make that work where we can just have members buy coffee here? So instead of leaving here and going to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or a place, they get it all right here. And then if we can make that coffee business work, then maybe we can start to add smoothies. And again, it's just we want to build up the membership base first, and then that will validate us being able to offer more pre and post workout nutrition and use that down the road.
Let's finish up with marketing. How do you guys market the gym? How do you get people in here? Do you use social media? Are you using ads? What are you guys doing?
Honestly, that's the part I struggle with the most.
Okay.
Being a smaller gym, there's so much good competition in here. I mean, you've got the Stronger personal training shirt on. We've got Cressy is only 25 minutes away. Like, there's so many great gyms in the area, and that was the thing I was most nervous about. And I could do a better job putting ourselves out more on Instagram and Facebook because that's where everyone's going. But our community is really strong, and it's been a referral-based growth. When we first started that first year, we got a lot of members in the first year, and it was great. And then someone told me to, whatever you do in your business, don't have a baby your first year in business. And my wife and I had a baby the first year in business. And then we're doing it again in year 3. So that slowed growth down a little bit because now my focus was not only on the gym, it was on family and trying to find that balance, which I'm not sure you ever really find. But it's all been referral based for the most part. We do have people now coming in more than they were before because of the name change. So it's obviously been a big player. But we do events, so if we have an event in the gym, which we have something coming up on August 18th, it brings all the community together and they can bring friends in. We don't do drop-ins, so people have an opportunity during our events to bring someone in, introduce them to the gym. We want to wow them with that experience.
Do you actively try to get referrals with your members?
Yes.
You do.
Again, the results way is you want to ask members every 3 to 4 months if they know of anyone that might be interested in joining the gym. And we have a lot of nurses and a lot of teachers. So there's a lot of nurses and teachers in the area. We're surrounded by hospitals and schools. So there's a nice market to tap into, and they've been great people. So we just want more awesome people like them.
Absolutely. Best way to go. So you're doing a great job here. Love the space. So glad to see the transformation and the expansion. So Evan, thanks for coming on and sharing what you've done here.
Thank you. I'm really grateful. Thank you for being here, Anthony.
All right.